Hey everybody, Show Futuristic here, and I wanted to make a video about some of the upcoming May titles for the Quest 2. While I'm not privy to a comprehensive list of games, I can offer my personal glimpse into titles that I'm curious about. Kicking off May, the first of those titles is Another Fisherman's Tale. It looks like a puzzler where the tagline from the trailer claims that your body is the puzzle. Detach and replace body parts, explore the depths of the ocean, flee from pirates, and enjoy a pretty varied gameplay adventure if the trailer is any indication. While puzzles aren't really my thing, I've been pleasantly surprised with titles like Kill It With Fire and Eye of the Temple on the Quest 2. If this continues the trend of polished experiences on the platform, Another Fisherman's Tale might be one to watch. On May 11th, we also get Zenith VR Update 1.3, aka the Skyward Summit patch. Okay, I know this isn't a new game, but the update for the best multiplayer MMO on Quest and PSVR is getting such a huge update that it's like an all-new game. First, you get the new Cyber Ninja class, which is a new melee class and has been promised by the developer for months. There's new mining and survival skills, giving you more things to do between combat and missions. There are new enemies. There's a brand new weapon. Well, really more of a locomotion tool. It's the grapple gun, which allows you to swing across Zenith and might feel even better than flying, which was already pretty dope. To be honest, I have an on-again, off-again love affair with this game. I'm always excited to start it, but it always felt like there wasn't enough to do. With every update, the game gets more and more polished. They added more voice acting, they streamlined some of the subclasses and locomotion, and they added a more polished onboarding experience with a full story. I'm excited to jump back in. On May 18th, we get Dead Hook, a game that was originally scheduled to come out weeks ago, right alongside a Medieval VR, according to the Quest Store. Pushing these two games apart was probably for the best. Both games have frenetic, demon-slaying action scored to that metal music energy, but look a little closer and the two games couldn't be further apart. While a Medieval was an amazing retro boomer shooter, Dead Hook is a roguelike that takes a more modern approach to its look and gameplay. Focusing more on swinging and verticality, Dead Hook is a sci-fi adventure about intergalactic smuggler Adam Stone. You explore the planet Resurrect, fighting hordes of monsters, finding legendary weapons, and customizing your character with over 100 buffs and persistent upgrades. At least that's what the details say. While the promise of a variety of enemies and multi-phase bosses is right up my alley, the really interesting bit is the emphasis on some sort of story. According to the description of the game, you'll face tough choices and unexpected twists along the way. It sounds like Dead Hook is a little more than just a straightforward shooter. It's a game I'm definitely picking up on May 18th when it releases on the Quest 2. Cosmic Overdrive has a planned release date of May 23rd on Steam and possibly Quest 2. The game calls itself a VR sci-fi runner that prioritizes comfort, immersion, and engagement. And while you might quickly dismiss this as one of those casual shovelware experiences, Cosmic Overdrive's trippy light show visuals and emphasis on quick reflex gameplay puts this more in the realm of something like Rez or maybe Runner meets Beat Saber. This feels like an intense arcade racer, except it's just you. There's cosmic peril around every portal jump, and combat that's a sensory overload. I'm not counting this one out. It might be a sleeper if the visuals are half as clean as they look on the PC VR version. No idea on the price, but if it's below $14.99, this might be an insta-buy amongst an already crowded week of hot releases. On the 25th, we're also looking at Hello Neighbor VR Search and Rescue. This is another one of those games that I know basically zero about. However, when I see a list of successful indie games on flat platforms like Xbox or iOS, this game is always present. It's on every list, so there's gotta be something to it. What's pulling me are the stylized visuals in a world of creepy suspense. It looks cartoony, but I'm getting early Metal Gear or Clock Tower vibes. Remember those games on PlayStation 1? Am I crazy? You play as a neighborhood kid, mostly running away from this creepy neighbor as you skulk around his house looking for stuff before he catches you. Now, I'm already full of questions. What the heck am I doing in this guy's house? He should be mad. I'm in his bedroom, all up in his personal space, taking this man's keys. He looks like he's about to shake the heck out of me, and he should. I shouldn't even be in here. But if stealing some stranger stuff is your jam, Hello Neighbor VR Search and Rescue is probably what your nosy self is looking for. Also that same week is Crimen, Mercenary Tales. Crimen comes out for the Quest, and I genuinely have no idea what to make of it. It comes from the developers that brought us the Wizard Dark Times and Warhammer Tempestfall games, so they're already familiar with the ins and outs of quest development. The Crimen website describes the game as an action-packed, gory arcade slasher that distinguishes itself from conventional physics-driven VR games with 8 hilarious escapades, narrated by a cast of personalities. If anything, they spent money on the game's production. The presentation should be pretty good. What I can't tell from having watched this trailer at least a dozen times is if there's exploration. Do enemies come at you in arena-like environments with scripted movement? Do enemies attack with any strategies, or do they just approach like meat bags, similar to foes in other physics-based games? On the plus side, there's a story, with traces of the supernatural mixed in with heavy doses of humor, so that might be entertaining. With multiple story perspectives and combat that could require more than blind waggling of the controller, I'm interested in trying this out. If it's good, Carbon Studios might release more stories as DLC. And finally, there's Everslaught Invasion. After Mateo 311's unflinching perspective on this game's departure from the original showing of the PC VR Everslaught, this quest-focused spinoff looks like a necessary sidestep. Shifting to Quest as a lead platform and reworking the original game's fast-paced, Doom-like action might have been the best call. Everslaught Invasion has slightly fewer enemies, but adds co-op, which plays the platform's strengths and changes everything. It's an increasingly crowded market, especially for roguelike games, but the unique hook seems to be that you can play this roguelike infinitely with other people. This pick up and play co-op element allows players to jump in, choose a class, make customizations, and do quick combat runs together. And that's something that's offered in only a few experiences currently on the Quest. Survival Nation comes to mind. Everslaught Invasion may not be the game it once was, but that doesn't mean it can't be something much more. I've been hooked on the co-op of Survival Nation, and if this game scratches a similar itch, but with more combat and better action, you better believe I'll be the first in line to play it at launch. It's the game I'm most excited for in May. Drop me a line in the comment section if you think that this might be a good candidate for a live stream. So far, that's everything in May. June is already looking insane with games like Battle Talent, Budget Cuts Ultimate, and We Are One squeezing in on the very first day of the month. Not to mention that the Metagaming Showcase is on the same day. It's bananas. If you own a Quest, these past few weeks have been more exciting than all of 2022 for standalone VR. Let me know which games you're excited for in the comments. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to start streaming and I'd love tips on which games I should focus on for live play and for first impressions. I'm working on an App Lab feature for later this week, so stay tuned and I'll see you guys in the future. Show out.